The Killer Shrews is a 1959 science fiction movie involving a mad scientist, a boat captain, and of course the stars of the show, not these guys, mutated giant killer shrews. It has all the makings of my favorite type of science fiction and is the epitome of black and white sci-fi. And what it lacks in solid character development, it makes up for in dogs and shrew costumes. The tale begins with our hero, Captain Thorne Sherman, and his trusty skipper, Rook Griswold, as they make their way towards an island to make a delivery of mysterious supplies on the eve of a hurricane. The only real mysterious thing here is how the waters are so calm on the eve of a hurricane. As they land ashore, Thorne has just enough time to spout out some boat lingo before an ominous trio appears on the horizon. A resident island mad scientist, Dr. Craigus, may be doing all the talking, but Thorne's got eyes only for Anne. Dr. Craigus says Anne will be going back to the mainland with them right away and is quickly disappointed when Thorne tells them all they won't be going anywhere while this mysteriously calm hurricane is approaching. Griswold heads back to the boat as the rest of our islanders head up to the adobe compound. Once we reach the compound, we're introduced to yet another scientist, Dr. Brad, who is all science and no social skills. Has there ever been anyone less excited to meet someone and more excited to talk about science than Dr. Brad? Just over 10 minutes in, we get our big reveal. Dr. Crazy Craigus reveals that he, Brad, and Jerry have been mutating shrew genes to try and figure out how to fix the overpopulation problem. Baby shrew! So how did all these experimented on shrews get out and wreak havoc on the island? Let's check in with Anne and see if she knows the answer. Thanks, Anne. Let's check in on Griswold and see how he's doing. Oh, holy hell! Griswold, no! Oh, and he's got a gun, and she turned it over. So only after being held at gunpoint does Thorne relent and listen to Anne's horror story about the island and its creatures. There are 200 to 350 to 100-pound giant killer shrews running around the island in search of more food. So we're bunkering in for the night, people. Mario takes over Jerry's watch because he's and discovers that there's been a breach. Mario wisely goes to Thorne with this vital intel instead of Jerry, and they make their way to the cellar for some shrew extermination. Oh, Mario, no! Thorne decides that they'll use the dead shrew in the cellar and toss it over the fence to see if it'll provide enough distraction for him to run to the boat and signal them the all clear. Jerry, never one to back down from an opportunity for sabotage, joins Thorne with a shotgun and they set off into the woods. They find the remains of Griswold on the way back and Thorne realizes they're being stalked by the shrews. This is too much for Jerry and he flees back to the house and locks Thorne out. Fight, 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 fight! Oh my god, no, he's going to throw him over the fence! Was I just begging for Captain Tugboat to throw Jerry over the fence to a horde of hungry shrews? Ah, this movie's turned me into the monster. There's shrews in the kitchen, they're everywhere! Ah, down goes Brad. Our 4 remaining islanders gather in the fenced-in yard waiting for an escape plan from the brilliant Thorne. The captain comes through for them yet again and decides to weld 4 barrels together so that they can all duck crawl safely to the water. Jerry's having none of this and climbs up onto the roof in defiance. Weld the shrew! Weld the shrew! To the beach! Thorne, Anne, and Dr. Craigus make it safely to the boat, and Jerry is eaten alive by giant killer shrews. It's as happy of an ending as anyone could hope for. This is one of my favorite old sci-fi movies. There's a forced love story, a two-fisted captain, mutated animals, and a mad scientist who rattles on about the dangers of overpopulation until there's enough science in this to make you wonder, is it possible to mess up shrinking something so bad that you actually make it bigger? And enough whim to make you question whether or not shrinking everything is the solution to overpopulation. Sci-fi movies like this stand the test of time for me because even if they are bad, they offer an escape, a chance to think outside the box, and, as every sci-fi movie should, delivers on the monsters.